Hi everyone, I'm Ryan, this is my garage. I'm going to continue working on the Honda Superdream and I'm going to try and work out what's causing the oil leak, can I fix it, and can I do that without breaking the engine. So with that, I'm going to tear into it to try and understand what's going on. So last week when I was working on the engine, I got it to run finally, which was such a happy moment, and then I noticed I've got a lot of oil which is running down the front of this engine from approximately this area and dripping onto the floor. Probably going to be related to some head gaskets, but maybe I've made a mistake. So I'm going to take the head off, have a look inside, see if I've missed anything obvious, and take it one step at a time. Oh, by the way, whilst I'm here, it's also been pointed out to me that my carburetors are angled too high. I created this link a few weeks ago. I've ordered some replacements that I think will fit this bike, that will actually angle the carburetors back down slightly and bring them more level, because if I don't do that I can't connect the airbox. So even though they appear to work at an angle, I'm sure that's not ideal, and without connecting the airbox I'm stuck. Well, I can't see anything obvious. I thought maybe I'd been stupid and missed out one of these dowels, but they're clearly all in place. I thought maybe I'd forgotten to put the rubber seal on the two back ones, but they're clearly in place. There's no obvious damage on the head gasket. I mean, it's here. You know, it's been on and off multiple times, so that's less than ideal. I don't know. I can't see how there's any leaks occurring at this level, but that certainly seemed to be where it was coming from. So I'm not sure what to do next. I think I need to order a complete new set of gaskets and just change everything. The base gasket, again, I mean, I haven't lifted it off completely. In fact, I'm going to do that now. I'm going to lift that off and we'll just check that. But the oil appeared to be coming from higher than that point. But take it off anyway. Well, nothing obvious from the base either. That all looks clean and tidy. And I hadn't forgotten the dowels. There's one there, there's one there. So I think I've ruled out me being stupid and missing something, but far more than likely is that the gaskets are shot, where I just had them on and off multiple times, and that looks quite soaked in oil. So maybe that was it. Maybe I just fell foul of reusing old gaskets. Highly likely. So let's buy a new set, fit them up, make sure everything's done again properly, and give it another try. Whilst the head is off again, I've just put some liquid just over the valves just to see if anything seeps past. So I'm just going to leave that there for an hour, see what happens. Okay, so whilst the engine is stripped down, waiting for gasket sets, there's plenty of things to get on with. I'm going to turn my attention momentarily to the electrics. So as it was pointed out, my neutral light is not on, but the bike is in neutral. So I'm going to try and investigate why. Might just be a bulb, don't know. Also, I noticed the high beam indicator didn't work. So let's strip this, check the wiring, and see if we can't sort that out. Okay, so I've unscrewed the back cover, lifted it out of the way. Looks like I need to get into here, so maybe I've got to take this brace off first. So yeah, let's undo these and see if I can get to that one. So there's the dashboard stripped down, and these are certainly dirty. Could do with a damn good clean up. Yeah, so they all look intact, so probably savable. So this is what is behind the dashboard. It's just these compartments, and they fit over this here. So a little simple question of 6 lights, 4 in one strip down the middle and 1 on either side to illuminate the speedo and rev counter. So if I turn the ignition on, that should, no. There we go. So we've got that light working, and if I put the lights on, those 2 work. So let me check that bulb, see where we move from there. Well, I've just swapped that bulb for this bulb, and clearly the bulb works fine. So I'm going to do that with all of them, just make sure all the bulbs work, then I'll work my way backwards through the electrical system. Okay, so I've proven all the bulbs work, and those 2 that aren't illuminated I've tested, swapping them around, and they work fine. So it might still be the holders, cable, switch, don't know. But let me move further forward. Okay, so I've just made a couple of little tails off straight off the battery, and I've just tested that section of the loom. So that bulb, holder, cable connection, all of that is definitely working perfectly, and that's the neutral light lit, although I've done it, forced it. So that's all working fine. Now I can work on the rest of the bike backwards. So I'm trying to test for continuity from the connector behind the light and the neutral switch itself. So I've worked out that's the neutral switch. So if I test for continuity between those 2 points, I'm getting it. But interestingly, I've noticed that is loose. So let me try tightening that up. That might be part of my problem. Okay, so this here should be the neutral light, and I've just worked out that a quick test is if I just take a wire connected to the negative battery and touch it on the top of that connector there, you see the light comes on and off. So that is immediately telling me that that switch is not giving a ground, but I'm confident it's in neutral. So let me connect something up and have a play. So that now is in a gear, and the neutral light is not illuminated. But if I now just with my hand, there you go, that is definitely now in neutral, still no light. So I think my neutral switch is not working. Okay, so I've got a temporary solution. So I've just put a thinner washer underneath that and tightened it down further. So the switch is worn out, I need a replacement, but for the moment at least, that's down. That light there is the neutral indicator, and if I reach over it, there you go, goes out when it's in gear, comes back on in neutral. Right, let's rebuild it all. Interestingly, I've had this liquid sat on these heads now for about 2 hours. No seepage whatsoever, so there's no leakage through those valves, and I've tried applying pressure through the inlet manifolds, nothing, no bubbles, no movement, so I'm pretty confident they're good. Okay, so now if I turn the lights on, we've got the dials lit up. If I put the high beam on, we've now got the high beam indicator, and if I put it in neutral indicator as well. So all dashboard lights working. I can't test the indicators at this stage, but I know the bulb's good and I know the connector's good, so hopefully when it's got indicators they'll work. But for the time being, okay, I'm pleased with that. But whilst I'm working on electrics, I just will continue to the back of the bike, which the rear light's never been connected. I found what looks to be the original short cable for connecting the rear light up, but the connectors are all knackered. So I'm going to cut these off and solder on some better connectors, reinstate all this, which has clearly been hacked off at some point, put it back to original bullet style connectors, and then let's see if the rear lights work at all. Okay, so my rear light, the manual shows that there was like a bullet style connector just off the back of the light, so I've just reinstated that because someone had just hacked it off in the past. So put the original bullet connectors back on. I'm going to do the same on the end of the loom, and then we'll reattach it. We've got a working rear light with the reinstated original cable and resoldered on bullet end connectors. So good. Original wires, original colours, best I possibly can. Okay, and here's the final result. So, light, brake, light off, brake. Excellent. Working rear lights. One more step closer to the road. So there we go, headlight all in place and working. High beam, low beam, and rear white light working, and brake. A full set of lights, minus indicators, but we'll get to them another day. Okay, that'll do for tonight. I'm going to wrap it up and try and get some more time in tomorrow. So my inlet rubbers had no rubber, and I had extended it using a short straight pipe, but the carburetors were at the wrong angle. Now I'm going to try these rubbers. So I've bought a set, so they were suggested as an alternative. Because the correct rubbers for this bike are so difficult to obtain, other than full OEM at quite an expensive price. These are rubbers from a CB250N, and I think they're the same, or at least incredibly similar. So I'm going to just do a little test fit and see how they look. So first test, they appear to bolt onto the head perfectly, all the holes line up, everything looks perfect, and crucially the angle that I need on the rubbers is there. So let's just check that the carbs fit into these, and if they are, I think they're an excellent replacement. Yep, they're going to do nicely. So that is bolted on there, and that gives a perfect seal. So I would say, if anything, the only difference between the CB400T inlets and the correct ones for the CB250 is possibly the diameter size of the carburetor side is sort of 1, maybe 2 millimeters bigger, but that's easily taken up for by the clamp. So these ones £13 something, the ones for the CB 70. That seems like a nice saving to me. Good. Right, carry on. Well, that's me out of time this weekend. It's been a busy one for me personally. I'm waiting for the head gasket set. Once that arrives, I'm going to make progress and get the engine reassembled. I want to say a thank you to Nat on his channel, Nat's Nackers Yard. Gave me a shout out, link to my channel. Thank you very much appreciated. Hope you and your family get well soon. So with that, that's goodbye from me. Please do like, subscribe to this channel, and we'll make some more progress next week. Thank you, goodbye.